All right. So present day again to you teachers, present day again to you parents, youth workers, youth leaders who are trying to go through this process of helping youths. You're trying to equip them. You're trying to show them the way. You really want them to learn. You wish they could get the message, and it is just frustrating you, and it is just wanting you to just just slap them sometimes. I mean, literally, right? But you're trying to control yourself. You're trying to do what's right. Oh my Lord! But you sometimes you just want to run away. You just want to leave them. You want to away from them. That is why some of you are happy that you're on vacation, right? Um, and a lot of times you want to know, what else can I do? What questions should I ask? What is it they want from me? Well, today we are talking about questions. We want to deal with the process of influencing, right? Influencing, transforming youths. And one of the major strategies is questions, asking the right questions. Um, Now, asking questions is not just asking, what do you want, or asking anyhow. In order for you to do active listening or proper listening, you need to learn to ask the right questions. You know, what a lot of people realize is that what psychologists and psychiatrists and even what you call uh, community development workers, right? What you call they would slip in me now. Um, that use in schools, guidance counselors, right? Guidance counselors. A lot of them pay money to go to school to learn to read books, to apply what is in the books. But you know something? As a parent, as a teacher, you could read the same books, right? I actually had a coach who was not trained psychologist or psychiatrist or anything like that, and he devoured the books and the materials that all these people were reading and studying. Devoured, studied them himself. He didn't go to school, he just devoured and he applied and practiced until he got to the place where he's on live television. He will ask psychiatrists and psychologists, send me a worse patient. Send me the patient who, regardless of how much you try, they just wasn't getting results. And he said, within half an hour, he will solve that problem. You know, he was able to do it? For years, he was able to do it. Because he just practiced, just applied the principles which were there, which were discovered by other people. You could do the same. So what we're going to do, we're going to learn about asking the right questions to youths. One grandmother came to me, and through the whole deliberation of wanting to help her grandson, because she have taken him to so many different people to ask to mentor him over the years. And they might meet with him once, and then after that, nothing else. And she said, could you please help my grandson? And one of the things she said, the only problem is he might open to you because he's very quiet, he don't open to anybody and all that sort of things. I said, okay, all right. Of course, I know what's going to be happening because I know what God has taken me through and how God has led me to help so many different people of different character, different personalities. So meeting with him, what I did, I just said, hey, your grandmother said you have questions and God heard your prayer. I'm here to answer the questions, right? I might not have all the answers, but I'm sure God have all the answers. So ask away. That was that's all I had to say. And he started asking me questions. He started talking. And all I did was listen and answer questions. What I could. And what I know God says and what God can do. Where he needs to go. And let me tell you something. He enjoyed it. Right? And I discovered so much more about the grandson than what the grandmother told me. Because you see, I just asked questions. So even as the answered question, I asked questions about the questions he was asking me. Right? So the idea behind it is learn to ask the right questions. I recommend to you 2 books, right? There's this book called Coaching Questions, right? And Coaching Questions is a book, right, by Tony, and he's talking about, it's a coaching guide to powerful asking skills. That's what the book is about. So Coaching Questions, right? A coach's guide to powerful asking skills. Very wonderful book. So try that and learn to ask the right questions. Another book I recommend is The Coaching Habit. And The Coaching Habit talks about how to say less, ask more, and change the way you lead forever. Right? Right? That's by Michael Stanier. Now, these materials are there. These books actually are in coaching classes. But anybody could buy them and read them and study them. Not just read, study, practice, apply, making mistakes, correct yourself, try it again. I mean, if you go through with a group, that's even better. Learn with a group. You know, and say, am I doing this right? Or you try it and you ask the questions. It didn't work. You try it again until you learn. All right. Now, these things are there for us to use. What it does, it cuts down on the amount of time you take to go through the process of influencing youths to become the purpose-driven youth you want, the royal, righteous, respectful youth that you want. Also, it cuts down on your frustration, on the amount of frustration you will go through. It cuts down on it. It cuts down on your chaos, your turmoil. It brings you more peace. It brings you peace of mind. Because after a while, you realize that this system works. You start trusting a system of operation. All right? So learn to ask questions better so you can influence more effectively or more efficiently. All right? You bring more efficient transformation, more effective transformation. Now, I know that a lot of people are doing a lot of work. Hats off to the fire service, hats off to people like the Mover community group that are doing a lot of work in the community to young men. There are a lot of people who are doing work in the youth industry. Hats off to them because you are saving a life. You are actually protecting others from being a statistic on the newspaper for crime or something, or being a victim of crime. And hats off to you. Thank you for guys for doing the amount of work you're doing. Thank you for those teachers who are working behind the scenes, who are going the extra mile, and they're working sometime in evenings with youths, going beyond the call of duty to help youths understand the lessons. Thank you, teachers, for the hard work you're doing. Thank you for the parents who are parenting their children and are parenting other children, right? That's something I do, help little children, right? As so good parents, and I'm hearing that some people in the fire service are doing it, in the military are doing it. Hats off to these guys in the army, the community workers who are working hard behind the scenes. I want to thank you for the work that you're doing, because I know that in doing that, you are protecting a lot of youths. We need to get to the hard ones, the ones who are there in the gangs, right? And the process, guys, is asking questions. Why are you in a gang? What are the benefits? Why did you decide to join the gang? What is it you would like to do instead? If you didn't join a gang, what would you have preferred to be doing? And would you like to do it with outside the gang? Would you like, if there's an opportunity for you to do what you would love to do, to become who you would know that you can be, would you take it? Ask questions, would you take it? Why would you take it? Why not? What is it you really after? Right? What is the result of that? What will that help? How would that help you or your future? Do you know how powerful you are? Do you know the power and the potential that resides inside of you? Do you know how much of a champion you are? Do you know it? Do you really know it? I mean, I'm not talking about a champion because you have a gun in your hand, or a champion because you have some money in your pocket. I'm talking about you by yourself is a living champion, an example of a champion that you can become. It's in there, but do you know that you can become it? It can come out. You can reveal it, but it's hidden. It's blocked up. It's buried. Do you know that you can become the champion you were created to be, you were born to be? Without all of this gun, all of this drugs, all of this crap, you can actually become that champion. Right? Would you like to know how you can become the champion? Would you like to know you can become royalty? Would you like to know you can become the best that you were created to be? Without anybody enslaving you, without being a slave to anybody, without feeling as if I only leave this group, I'm dead. Without having to look over your shoulder. Would you like to be able to go to bed without looking over your shoulder? Without wondering if I'm going to die tomorrow? Huh? Would you like to live life as if, man, life is great, awesome? Would you like to experience that life? Or maybe they might say, hey, me, I'm dead already, or I can't experience that. That's for those rich guys. Who told you that? Who told you what you believe? Who told you? Why are you doing this? And who told you that that's the only way? Where they got that from? Why did you believe that? Learn to ask questions. Learn to ask questions. Right? Ask questions. Think about the questions. And I hope that God will guide you to ask the best questions, the right questions at the right time to the right person. Right? Because the answer to those questions are like apples of gold, grapes of silver. Right? That's called the Proverbs, according to Solomon. Right? Ask questions. I pray that God will help you ask the questions that will penetrate darkness. Because you see, even though they don't answer the questions there and then, even though they don't give you the right answers and they look as if they're not following through with you, they're not bothering with you. Let me tell you something. When they're asleep in the night, when they're on their bed in the night, when they're alone, the questions you ask them will come back. It will resonate with them. It will start bothering them. You're planting a seed that can grow into a harvest, not just a tree, a harvest, a orchard, a plantation of results. All right? So I hope you learn to ask the right questions, and God bless you.